Okay, hon.
All right, so we're recording and we're going to go over the cause and effect, the prime law of the universe today. And I'm just going to kind of read through this out loud and we can stop at any point. I've taken some notes of some things that I thought were really interesting and we'll take it like that. How's that?
That
Okay,
sounds great, hon.
okay, great. So cause and effect, the prime law of the universe. Here is the most important law of the universe. Here is a prime key to wealth consciousness. If you live by this, you cannot fail to get wealth. The understanding and living by the law of cause and effect guarantees that you shall not fail to cause the events you wish to experience, that you shall predict outcome and figure out the causes of your situations. Simply learn this law well and read the chapter on conditions and on success, and you will be well on your way to wealth and happiness. Wealth is created when you correctly plug your tools of creation powered by faith into the law of cause and effect. So the law of cause and effect is the prime law that runs the universe. It is the number one law. Every spiritual and scientific teacher has sought to teach it. They may have said to you, they may have said you reap what you sow, or you get what you give, or what goes around comes around, or karma, or in Arabic, kama tudinu tudan, or consequences, or every action has an equal and opposite reaction, or many other similar statements. Quantum physics is now teaching us how this works exactly on a subatomic level, as we shall soon see in later chapters. Here is what we are now discovering. It is multiplicative. It is multiplicative. In other words, you will not only one day experience what you cause others to experience, or its equivalents, but also you will do so multiplicatively. If you cause others to experience wealth and happiness, it will come back to you and you will experience it as well. But as a bonus, you will experience much more than you caused others to do so. Life is about growth. This is so for every experience imaginable. At some point in the complex of the space-time continuum, at some point in your life, by law, you experience a multiple of what you cause others to experience. Nothing escapes this law. Even when you cannot see with your limited 5 physical senses right now, even if you cannot see where it is happening, know that it happens. Use this to create massive wealth. Scientists now agree that nothing can be observed without being affected by the observer. And in fact, they have concluded that even their experiments must be done in a double-blind fashion to get anywhere close to accuracy, because the expectation of the scientist affects the outcome of the experiment. Even this cannot create an independent experiment. The thing being observed is created and recreated by the observer. Scientific evidence, especially in quantum physics, shows that you are at cause for all that you see in the world. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Cause others to experience wealth massively, increase their wealth consciousness massively, and you will experience wealth massively. Look at life today. Any business that deals with the increasing of people's productivity and connectivity always becomes a very big self-sustaining business. It may not be a perfectly good business, but it is big and self-sustaining. Software, networks, transport, electronics, and such businesses improve people's productivity and standard of living, and in return they grow. But that is only a scratch on the surface. Even more magnificence will come our way when we start building businesses that deliberately are designed to give rather than receive. Businesses designed to cause first that other people get wealthy. Businesses designed to cause first that other people get wealthy. Okay? Future businesses will be designed to cause growth. That is true growth, and not growth with serious side effects somewhere else. These businesses will cause elevation of populations from a lower standard of living to a higher one, and elevations in their consciousness as well-being. The more you cause others to have in wealth, the more you will have in wealth effortlessly. And I wanted to pause here because I thought that this was really awesome in that, our business is actually a business of causing true prosperity from a health and wealth perspective. And so I thought that was really cool how that ties into what we have going on. What do you think?
That's funny because that's exactly what I was just thinking. I was like, wow, and we're in the industry where this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like our wealth consciousness is just growing. And as servant-driven leaders, we give to others before we give to ourselves, and then it just comes back to us multiplied.
That's true.
Super.
Yep. I am health, I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Whatever you wish to get, give it away first. This is the fastest path. Whatever you wish to have, cause another to have it first. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. What you reap, you will sow. Karma, the law of cause and effect. This law never fails, and eventually you always harvest what you sow. It is in your best interest to sow good seeds. Do not be unjust to anyone unless you wish to have injustice turned back to you one day. Hate, covetousness, greed, anger, negative thoughts and actions cause the negative conditions and suffering needed to cause a correction in that negative thought. Remember always that the entire universal system is one even though it appears separate. You will see this to be true as you read this book. What you do unto others is what you literally end up doing to yourself. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. By knowing the cause and effect power of thought, you can accurately predict the future by looking at the thought of now. Fortunately, we have the power to change thoughts and alter the future. That's pretty cool that he mentions like that. Let's see what he means. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Cause and effect, karma, you reap what you sow. We've been given this message from various sources over the years, and it is true. It works without fail, and ignoring this law is the cause of much of our suffering and poverty. It is so simple, and I actually highlighted this part. Simply be deliberate and thoughtful about what you're being, doing, thinking, or saying. Know that everything is a cause that has an effect. Then ask yourself, this thing that I'm being, thinking, saying, or doing, what is its probable effect? Then the answer to that question is what you will reap back later. So if you cause another to suffer, it will return to you at some point in life. Ignoring this law has caused much suffering for the human race. Following this law has caused much prosperity as well. There is no mysterious external force that causes you random and wanton suffering. There is no such thing as bad luck. It is all within you individually and within the collective selves of the family, company, community, country, and world that you're in. Every single state of being, thought, word, and action was caused by something before it and will cause something after it. It is waking up to this fact and asking yourself, what caused that thought I just had? Or what will be the effect of this thought I'm having that enables you to fine-tune yourself and align yourself with the universe? It is the path to experiencing wealth and abundance. That's actually a very strong paragraph there. You know, let's kind of analyze that. Can you tell me what your first thoughts are on that?
Yeah, that, you know, it goes all the way back to our beliefs, and what we believe is what we create in our reality. Like everything exists here in the infinite now, and what we are able to realize is the depth, I guess, of our consciousness, right? Like how our beliefs make up the parameter of what we're of all that we can experience. And when we expand that, we experience more.
That's pretty cool. I'm one to believe that your actions are first going to be born by your thoughts, and you are responsible for your condition, no matter what hand you were given in the beginning. And I know that's hard for some people to accept, especially if you think about people who are given a lower hand, if you will. They still are responsible for where they are now because their actions can change their condition. And so it's not to say that it's going to be an easy road or an immediate one, but it is something that no matter what situation you're in, you can think about getting out of it and then take appropriate action to change that condition. I believe that that every amount of abundance and necessary resources available to us as human beings. And the source of that is God. And if you want something, you just try hard enough and you will get it. So that's what I really truly believe, and that's kind of like how I interpret this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
it's to me, it's, yeah, there has to be some type of logical explanation for what he's talking about, which to me is pretty much, yeah, you can definitely cause the effect that you want, but you got to start by thinking about it and then literally taking action. So let's see what else he has to say.
Okay.
So I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Cause and effect, the prime law of the universe. Things get better when you get better. They get worse when you get worse. The world is all within you. You are cause over everything that happens in your life, whether you are conscious of it or not. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. And I wanted to also touch on why are we always doing these affirmations. And it's not just a matter of let's read them. It's like, let's believe them. Because like I said, if you, and like you said, if you believe in something and then you think about it hard enough, eventually you're going to take the appropriate actions to make them, true. So if I say I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy, I can control I can control how I want to feel
Mm-hmm.
and how I think and how I perceive the world. And then that will lead to the series of actions and also the consistent pattern of thinking that I can achieve those things that I'm after, and therefore, eventually, you, like I said, you keep picking at that thing that you're after, you're going to get it. So here we are. If you are at cause for everything in your world, and so is everyone else for their world, it means that groups of people are collectively at cause for their collective world. Corporate success and failure, neighborhood events, even wars and natural disasters all happen not because of only one person in the group, but because of all the people collectively causing that which they are collectively affected by. This brings us to your businesses. You will get fastest results if the people you work with and associate with are people of wealth consciousness. Again, that is another condition that you can change. If you're not in an environment where the majority of the people are wealth conscious or even positive thinkers, then you can change your environment. And so this is totally up to you. And it's, again, you're kind of in control of your own life. That's the point. Which means you should offer help to all those around you to improve their wealth consciousness. So it's like, again, if you want others to help you improve, you help them improve. It's really what goes around comes around. So I appreciate you, Michelle, coming on and helping me to improve. It really does boost my morale, because otherwise I would be on this alone and just kind of
Oh, so
reading
sweet.
to the camera, which apparently didn't work, but at least the audio hopefully is being recorded. So again, remember also that one very powerful way of getting something is to cause another to get it. Couple both of these, and you will see how widely beneficial it is to you to ensure that your employees, business partners, family, and even community in country and world, if they are interested, have access to educational material that allows them to build wealth consciousness in themselves. That's one of the very reasons why I created the group called Entrepreneurs Workshop. It's because I saw somebody else create a group, and I knew they were going to attract people in their life, and their business that would help everybody else improve. And I thought that would be great for us to have our own little space where, at the very least, we do book reviews, we read stuff. It kind of was a way to force me to educate myself, and therefore hopefully inspire others to, get educated at the same time. We're starting off with Happy Pocket Full of Money. And so I think it's going to help me, as I did it for mainly like selfish reasons, but at the same time, I knew that if I helped others, it was going to help me. So it's kind of like, even though you might have beneficent, intentions, if you have an understanding of the law of cause and effect, you're going to have it's okay to even have that somewhat selfish motivation that, well, if I help Michelle, something is going to happen in the world that's going to help me back. So it's kind of like, oh, I should be a good person, so God will put me into heaven at the end of my, at the end of the days, right? Something like that. So even though it's like you could have some selfish motivations, it's okay. That in this case, it's okay because you're still helping others at the same time. What do you think about that,
I'm
Michelle?
sorry. It's well, it's the law, and the law of attraction says you attract what you are. So, like for instance, I used to have a real big struggle with money and stuff, and I was reading Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, and he
Mm,
talks about if you want more of something, find somebody that has less of it than you and give to that person. And
mm,
so I've used that principle in my life as far as like the money and stuff. I said, okay, universe, here's the deal. I want to help this homeless person that I just passed, but I feel this tightening with this money. If
mm,
you promise to keep money in this car for me, I will always give to that person that I see that needs it. And I do, and it
mhm.
does. Like
Amazing.
I have not had money in the car since I made that deal.
That's so awesome.
And yeah, and I kind of had that underlying thing about, okay, well, I want money so that when I go to the drive-through, I can, pay cash for the, our fast food, or, when we want to go run an errand, I have money for it. I just didn't want to have to worry about the money thing anymore. So that was kind of my underlying motive. But what ended up happening was I'm beautifully blessed now in that I feel abundant being able to give to somebody that needs it. I feel more blessed than they do because they're actually allowing me to show that I'm able to. Does that make sense? And
Yeah,
like I'm opening myself up for more abundance.
that's
It,
awesome.
yeah, it's super amazing.
And the way I see that is that everybody's sustenance has been preordained, and so no matter how they get it, whether they get it through you, Michelle, or they get it through me, or some other means, it's a matter of it wasn't yours to begin with. It was theirs, and God is just providing them through you. So He's giving you more abundance, and at the same time providing others. So it's amazing.
Oh
I
yeah,
really
we're
like it.
absolutely vehicles for the flow. And I super duper love it. I love getting my ego out of the way so that source can flow through me. There's nothing better feeling in the whole wide world.
Awesome. I'm just going to read that one more time. Couple both of these, and you will see how widely beneficial it is to you to ensure that your employees, business partners, family, and even community and country and world, if they're interested, have access to educational material that allows them to build wealth and consciousness in themselves. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. I promise you, after I finish reading this stuff with you, I'm going to feel like 100% better.
I already do. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't having the greatest day,
Yeah.
and like I already feel like so hugely better. I love communities, even if it's just two people,
Yeah.
rather than just me reading this myself or read just listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
With like two or more people, it's magnified, right?
Most definitely. I feel the same way. And like, if I hadn't forced myself to could be consistent every Monday at 8 o'clock and provide this for whoever is going to watch it, then I might not read the book. I might not, be consistent. So here we are. Imagine you're on an island with just one other person working together for a whole year. Imagine that you are very friendly with each other and that you talk and share the books and food your relatives send you. What would happen if you were to slap that person? That person will either slap you back, find another way to harm you, stop sharing their books and food with you, or they will just have a less friendly heart toward you, and even if they do not retaliate otherwise. Even if the other person does not revenge, some tension will be built, which will cut short the freedom and companionship you had. This simple experiment shows you that it is impossible for you to harm someone without getting it back on you in some form or another. You harm someone, and eventually you will get hurt yourself. In other words, if you can observe this to be so, why then would you wish to harm someone? More appropriately, why would you wish to harm yourself? For when you harm someone, you harm yourself. Now, if you're working hard in your business, why would you wish to undo that work by harming others in and through your business, whether it is your customers, employees, suppliers, the society, or the environment? And following on what we shall soon see about collective consciousness and the results of it in later parts of this book, why would you wish to be passive when people are harming others in business? You know you will be affected eventually in a negative way when you allow a large corporation and your government to do business oppressively and damagingly. So why would you let that happen while you sit on the sidelines waiting for your negative share of the returns? To the extent that you allow other people's choices and consciousness to override your own, you will share in their consequences. To the extent that you determine and make your own choices about everything, you'll enjoy your own consequences. Wealth follows these rules, as does everything else. I don't care does not exclude you. So this is pretty cool because, as I read books like this, I try to reconcile some of the statements that, I reconcile with my current beliefs, and in my beliefs, we are obligated to um, to basically command that which is good and forbid that which is evil, right? And if we don't do those things, then we are sinners, and we are likely to either reap the consequences in this life or in the afterlife. So it's cool that this book is jiving with my beliefs. I mean, obviously, if you see some type of oppression, in my belief, it is that you should prevent it with your hand, meaning physically, step in and do what you can. If you can't do that, then prevent it with your tongue. Speak out against it. If you can't do that, then at least hate it in your heart, and that is considered to be like the weakest form of faith. So here we are. Ask the people who were alive during World War II. If people had not said, "I don't care, it's not my problem," from the very beginning, Hitler would never have gotten as far as he did, and those people would never have had to suffer those bombings and the economic downturn caused by the war. To exist, Hitler needed the world's collective consciousness of, "I don't care, I'm separate." If you really care about getting wealthy and staying wealthy, you had better start caring about the entire world. It is for your own sake. And I thought that was really powerful. So it really made me more aware of, like, if I want to be successful, I need to start having more compassion. And so I'm happy that I'm reading that. What do you think, Michelle?
Yes, I agree. So, my whole life has been a series of drama and trauma and suffering and trying to get away from the world and away from myself. And it's really brought me to know a deep compassion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand.
but it's helped me connect to this world that I thought I was so separate from, and
Mm-hmm.
I now know that, like, we're all in this together, and when
Mm-hmm.
someone else hurts, I hurt. When
Right.
someone else experiences joy, I experience joy. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
live not just through ourselves, but we live through others.
Yeah, I understand. And you know what? I recently came across some information that was saying the single most impacting factor for people living longer lives is their social interaction with other people. It's not their weight. It's not whether or not they smoke. It's not whether or not they they work out. It's not how much money they have. It is literally how much they, and I believe it's kind of like how they live through others.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that's
well,
pretty
and
cool.
that actually has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I was in an environment that was so unhealthy. They were negative gossipers,
Mhm.
and I just wanted more for my life. I wanted to talk about spirituality and caring for others and compassion and inspirational stuff and dreams and stuff like that. And they were still caught in the physical reality of materialistic things, you know?
Mhm.
So I had to break away from that. And I left my whole entire community. But look what I found. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you are responsible for your own reality. So again, you got to take the action, right?
Yep.
People who want better things. If they, I watched someone's go live within our community. They were saying, if you know better, do better, you know?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so absolutely, you're responsible for it. You know better. You must take action on what you know.
Yeah,
It's,
what is that saying? With great knowledge comes great responsibility.
yeah, that's true. That's true. As a matter of
Mhm.
fact, it's like this. If you didn't know, right, then okay, you have an excuse,
Mhm.
right? But in my belief, you are obligated to seek knowledge. And
Mhm.
once you do know, though, you can't act like you're an ignorant anymore. You have to act on that knowledge, right? Like
Yep.
I said, it's responsibility. You're going to be questioned about it. That's what responsibility means. You're going to have to respond, because effectively, you know, you now have more power. You have more capability, and you can affect other people's lives, you know, for the good or for the bad. And sometimes that, oh, I don't care, I'm going to act like I'm ignorant to it mindset can lead to atrocities like we've seen. So here we are. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Commerce that is not built on true mutual benefit leads to imbalance, lack of peace, and eventually war. Whether you are a person, a corporation, or a nation, if you're making super profits at the expense of at the expense of the person you are doing business with, you will eventually somehow, someday, end up harming yourself, just as you have harmed your trading partner. That is evident in the world and predictable by the law of cause and effect. Peace is the biggest boost to prosperity, and it is in your own interest for your own prosperity to promote peace. One way to do that is to deal fairly in your own business and to seek to correct unfair trade around the world whenever you can. So I want to touch on something. I just want to go out and like be real open with this. So I recently did something that I didn't think about it too clearly, and then I realized it was wrong. And so once I realized that, I totally came clean, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have made a mistake," and I tried to correct it. Like I tried to, as it says here, you know, where was it? It was saying seek to correct unfair trade, right? So seek to correct. If you make your own, I mean, people are human beings, make mistakes, right? So,
Yes.
it might be driven by different motivation. Maybe was driven by something, a misunderstanding, or even something like a good intention, you know. But sometimes, good intentions might not be perceived that way, or maybe the effect might be something negative. So anyway, I had made a mistake, and so I really tried to correct it. And so now I'm like putting myself in this perspective that, okay, I got to do as much as I can to make it right, because again, I don't want my business or my life to be affected by a mistake. And I think, if we all take that perspective, then you know everything will work out. I think people will realize, what, that's okay. You made a mistake, and you're doing your best to correct it, and that's fine. I still respect you. I'm hoping that will be the effect. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I believe honesty, transparency, and a genuine heart takes you a long way. I mean, and like you said, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and in that humanness, we're fallible, right?
Of
But
course.
failure is not failing. It's like I just watched Landon and Stape's training, and they said failing is merely um, tweaking and adjusting. It's feedback. That's what failure is.
Exactly.
Failure, and I made a post yesterday that failure is merely your GPS signaling you that perhaps you're going in the wrong direction, and when possible, make a legal U-turn. I mean, and
Yeah.
it's it's kind of sad though that we grow up thinking that failure is such a bad thing. I was so afraid to do anything because I was afraid I would fail. So when
Right.
actually not doing anything, I was failing myself, you
Yeah.
know? So now, no matter how scared I am about failing, I'll do it anyway, you
Right.
know?
Right. We fail forward, right?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
So you fail, you get back up, and you learn from it, and you keep trying to do good. You correct your heart, and you just keep doing good. So let's see here. Um, One way to do that is to deal fairly in your business and to seek to correct unfair trade around the world whenever you can. To the extent that you have peace, you will have prosperity. I'm trying to, make peace in my heart, and so I can have that prosperity, right? It's all selfish, but at the same time, I'm trying to help others, and so that we can all rise up. In other words, whatever level of prosperity you're in today, you would be more prosperous if you had more peace. This is true even to those in the arms business, as ridiculous as that may sound. Now, the rest of this paragraph, he goes on to talk about like the military industry and machinery and stuff like that. I'm gonna skip that part
Okay.
because it's very specific to a particular thing that he's talking about. But I'm just gonna skip that particular paragraph. I mean, it's not like I don't agree with it or anything, but I just wanted to get more value because
Save time,
this is very
right?
specific. I want to get more generic stuff. So here
Right.
we are. Peace is prosperity, while war is not. If you want living proof, look at the United States. Even in the United States, used to fight. Even the United States used to fight within itself until it united into one nation and stopped wars between its own states. Now it is prosperous, and prosperous it is largely because of its internal peace, cooperation, and free trade under almost equal legal protection for all within its borders. The European Union is realizing that as well and seeking to do the same. So are many other initiatives around the world in Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, Africa, all over, but in different extents and rates. So in your own dealings, promote peace through fair trade even when you have the opportunity to be unfair. And in the events of your community, world, country, and world, see what you can do to promote fair trade and peace. It is for your own prosperity. It reminds me of a particular chapter in the Holy Quran that's talking about uh, some people who used to, when they were doing trade, they would always try and get like the better end of the deal. And my belief, it really teaches that it will be better for you to just be easy in trade. And if somebody wants to you know get a little bit extra, give them a little extra. It's okay. Better to be easy, an easy business person, than it is for you to be like always the one stingy, and you leave a bad taste in other people's mouth. So that's something that I'm telling myself to remind myself that I need to always
Mhm.
keep that in mind. Um, I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Nothing in your world is real. Nothing you see is real. It is an illusion created for your benefit so that you may experience your thoughts and state of being firsthand and purify them, make them better. That is why suffering is said to be an indicator of wrong thought. Beingness, thoughts, words, and actions create it. Change your mind and you change your world. Change yourself and you change your world. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Here's a shortcut to solving problems, including financial ones. Whenever you are faced with a confusing, unclear, or problematic situation, look at it and say, I am that, and truly accept it, for you caused it, and separation is an illusion. Then ask yourself, why am I that? All confusion and fear will disappear, and solutions will automatically start to appear in the face of your I am that awareness. This applies to any situation, actually, not just to a problem. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Have you noticed how life works like a large, complicated mirror? What you do to others, you do to yourself. if you wish to be happy, make others happy. If you wish to be free, make others free. Use this principle in your business, and you will be able to choose what you get back. Wow, that is super powerful. I mean, in our business, if we intend to help other people become free, become abundant, become happy, and we put that as at the forefront of our goals, of our intentions, just imagine how much more happy and free and abundant we would be. Oh, salam alaikum, Sayyid. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. We're just reading Happy Pocket Full of Money. And
Yeah, I just got home and I just noticed the messenger.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, man.
I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. The
Perfect.
interlinkages between all life and the system of cause and effect are extremely complex, efficient, effective, and transforming. An apparently extremely small cause could have a huge effect in the future or in the past or present. Physicists have a beautiful way of explaining this simply. They call it the butterfly effect. Look at you, Michelle, with the whole butterfly theme. What's your page called?
My business page is called The Butterfly. I'm the blissful mompreneur. Yeah.
Okay. It's amazing how I was reading this, and I just imagined that he's going to talk about the whole butterfly effect. And so here it is. James Gleick, I don't know if that's correct pronunciation, in his book Chaos, explains the butterfly effect as the notion that a butterfly stirring in the air today in Peking can transform storm systems next month in New York. And that is just a simple example. Everything is a cause that has an effect. And everything is an effect that has a cause. A huge chain reaction that is not bound by time, space, and form. In the case of wealth, the effect is either wealth or poverty. Be aware of your thoughts and their probable effects. It is a particular thought likely to lead to wealth or poverty. There are no such things as idle thought, word, action, or state of being. And you guys, that's so important, because so often I am around people in which I hear negativity, and I'm like, guys, you really need to just be positive. Just find the silver lining, because the more negative you are, the more you're going to attract that in your life. The more negative you are, the more negative you're going to be, and the more unhappy you're going to be. And you're not going to find what you're looking for. I mean, it's like those people, it's amazing how Sayed was just mentioning in one of his lives, in that he said, why people have struggled financially is because they're always complaining and they're always negative and stuff. And they don't ever look outside the box, and they don't ever see that there are other ways to make an income. It's amazing, What do you guys
Yeah,
That's absolutely right, man.
Oh. Syed, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry for that. I was like, yeah, actually, my brother just mentioned about the post that I mentioned, that why people struggle financially, and it's because we keep habit with all the time complaining and looking deep down in negatives, and not able to exactly find out that how we can get ourselves out of that negativity in order to create a positive life, a positive attitude, a positive mindset. And like, yeah, it's just because we got habit with it. We just got habit with complaining. The complain word is a negative points, a negative option, a section of our life, that we have to stop that first. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the negativity keeps us in the problem, right? And with every problem, there's a solution already given. There's a solution already out there. In fact, for a problem to even to exist, a solution already had to exist, because in the balance of life, you have the good and the bad, the whatever, the cause and the effect, the whole duality kind of thing. Balance. It's the balance, the yin and the yang. So and I learned this in the rooms of AA, when you focus on the negativity, the why, the like victim mentality, your consciousness is not able to see the solution because you're not open to it. So when you ask yourself, how honesty, openness, and willingness,
Yeah,
the doors open, and all of a sudden you see things that you didn't see before.
exactly. Instead of focusing on the problem, you focus on what's the cause of the problem. Well, how could I prevent that? You know, so be aware of your thoughts and their probable effects. There are no such thing as idle thought, word, action, or state of being. It definitely makes an effect. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Do not feel guilty. Forgive yourself for past failures. We were just talking about failures a minute ago, and choose to act correctly next time. But avoid guilt. So I'm gonna openly say, guys, I'm not gonna feel guilty anymore. I made a mistake,
Good. Good
and
for
I'm
you.
trying to correct it, and so I'm not gonna feel guilty. But avoid guilt, as it is one of the biggest destroyers of focus and confidence. Do not dwell on the past. Forgive others also. You are not doing them a favor when you forgive them. You are doing yourself a favor. They still have their cause and effect, karmic debt for all their actions, whether you forgive them or not. But when you forgive them, you release yourself from a negative karmic cycle, and release your energy for other positive things as well. So I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. What is found in the effect is already in the cause. Try to understand this intimately, then live deliberately. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Here is another interesting thing about cause and effect in regards to wealth. Why do you suppose people get inspiration? I'm going to just mute Shade for a minute so he can, I think, eat maybe. Why do you suppose people get inspiration to start a particular business or career or passion or hobby? Yes, they are at cause individually for their desires, but there is something else as well. The collective consciousness of this planet and universe also has a hand in causing this inspiration. Remember, life always manifests images of the mind and grants every sincere and certain desire without fail. And the mind field is one. Your mind and all minds make up the unified mind field. So the reason you have an idea is partly that others have caused it. That is how demand and supply works behind the scenes. If a million more people suddenly desire and believe they can have a certain type of fashion accessory, for example, an appropriate person with the appropriate level of desire and belief go into the fashion business will have inspiration to create this fashion accessory and sell it to these people, and hence all desires and beliefs will be fulfilled. The reason you have an idea is partly that others have caused it. When you visualize something you wish to have, someone is visualizing the same thing as something that they wish to give or sell. So the next time you have inspiration, rejoice knowing that a group of people, small or large, is actively asking you and waiting on you to fulfill their desires. In other words, somewhere around the world, people are praying very hard for just the thing that you are inspired to do. You are the answers to their prayers, and they are the answers to yours. Everybody is an answer to a prayer. We are all gifts and miracles to each other, even though we may not immediately see how that is so. There is nothing to worry about except for worry itself. You succeed. That is all you ever do. An easy way to understand that everyone is a gift and that we all are responsible as one unified mind field is to think of Hitler. How could Hitler have been a gift to us? Firstly, realize that he would never have come to power without the acceptance of the world as a whole. The whole world created the conditions necessary for him to arise. And he rose, and as he rose, the world said, he's not our problem. We don't care what he's doing to those people over there as long as we are right. All right. This separatist ideology, coupled with the way our collective state of being had created a fertile state of the world for Hitler to grow and thrive, is what caused Hitler. He could not have done it alone. Just one small person against the world. He needed the world's conscious and unconscious cooperation. You cannot blame Hitler as a victimizer of the world without blaming the world as a creator of victimization conditions. Hitler allowed us to experience a negative aspect of ourselves. We are now a lot less likely to go into world wars. So I think that's maybe the gift here, right? We know it is not a good idea. We are also less likely to ignore the plight of others, to act in unconcerned separatist ways. Hitler allowed us to correct, to a certain extent, the illusion of separation. All suffering comes from the belief in an illusion. the truth sets you free. Everyone around you and everything around that they do is a gift to you, allowing you to know yourself and redefine yourself. You're at cause of your world. Once you understand how a person as bad as Hitler can be a gift, and how a person like him is caused by the world around him or her, so that the world can experience its mind and beliefs, you will understand a big secret to wealth. Once you understand that Hitler acted as a mirror of the world, a focused collection of the little bits of indifference, belief in superiority and separation in each person in the world, then you will understand how you can be the focused collection of wealth for the world. In other words, do not be afraid to dream big, to dream of grand wealth, and to believe you can have grand wealth. The world will make it happen. And it is, in fact, making you have those grand dreams to the extent that you are willing to have them. You are fully supported whichever way you choose to go. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Wow, that's mind-boggling, guys. I never thought about that, you know. It's amazing, you know, because I want to express, like, in that mistake I made recently, it actually ended up helping some people.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it actually did. Like, it's the events that transpired in that mistake that I made actually ended up helping other people get what they actually wanted. And so I told them that I'm actually grateful for what happened, even though I'm kind of sorry for, you know, the mistake that I made, but it actually ended up for the better. I said everything happens for a reason. It's amazing. And if the person, and then you know who you are, if you're listening to this, I just wanted to make that point. So everything happens for a reason, you know. Go ahead, Michelle.
For real, yeah. And we're always of service. Everything that happens to us is actually happening for us. In so much as, are we perpetrators? Are we victims? The contrast just shows us how far we've come, what we're not willing to accept. You know, it just helps us go to that next level of consciousness. I so totally agree. I loved that whole the few paragraphs you just read. I just loved it all. It was so me and so on the money with everything that I know and I embrace as my life. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah,
I think, that's a really cool part. That I think in our school time, we have learned many things, and one of those parts were like every action has reaction, and scientific section says every action has reaction. Pretty much, if there was no action on anything, there won't be any reaction on that. So pretty much it's the same thing. Anything happened, there was a cause, there was a reason to push that thing happen, and then it got reaction back. So for us, for a single person in the world, and for anyone, there is actually what we called in our business around that, what we say is why. Mm-hmm. When we know our why, when we know something that really pushes us hard to go forward, that is something that we have to figure out at first. Mm-hmm. So again, it all comes back again that there is something, always a reason that really puts something else happen after that.
Yeah.
For us, that is my why. That is something always above my head and always in my mind, and always I'm thinking, like, you know what? For that exact why that I have, I got to do something. I got to make it happen. I got to hustle. I got to wake up. I got to do it. So. Yeah.
That's the cause, you know, and the effect is you're going to see the abundance flowing. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. All other things held constant. To the extent that an individual or society understands and applies the law of cause and effect in the right way, so will they have wealth and happiness. What you now have is a good introduction into the universe's prime law. As you read the remaining chapters, you will understand this law a whole lot more clearly, especially after reading the chapters on conditions, success, and quantum physics. Now that you are armed with knowledge of the law that runs the universe, let us have a look at what conditions and success truly are. You are about to enter into one of the most beautiful, forgiving, and encouraging journeys you have ever taken. And with that, guys, I'm just going to give a teaser. Conditions, they're fantastic illusions. That is what we're going to talk about next time. I thank you guys so much for joining. We generally keep this 45 minutes, but 55 minutes is all good. So thank you again for joining. And I do hope I was recording.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Yeah,
I had
I
a
was.
wonderful time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you so much, Ahmad,
Well,
brother.
you're welcome. And I'm gonna I'm gonna put it into YouTube, and I'm gonna put it into the Entrepreneurs Workshop, just like I do every week. And feel free to share it on your pages for your audience, and that will bring them in to you, and see that this is what you're doing and what you're a part of, and it'll bring them to the Entrepreneurs Workshop. Just make sure you do have formed a relationship with your audience, so that they will be attracted to you. So thank you for that.
That's